Welcome, 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 welcome to Spring Clean Your Business, the Sales Edition. So my name is Lauren Conaway. I am founder and CEO of InnovateHER KC. We are a 4,200 plus member women's leadership community in Kansas City. We serve women in the verticals of entrepreneurship, community advocacy, civic engagement, education, and the arts. And we do so with a lens to inclusivity, belonging, and low barrier to entry. So everything we do it with that in mind. We serve our members through what we call our 5 pillars of action. Those are social connection, professional development, amplification of work, there you go, mentorship, and resource sharing. I always forget one. It always happens. But right now we are focusing on that professional development piece. So in InnovateHER KC, we have a very, very active community. We see 95% engagement from our members month over month. That means that not only do our members belong to our community, but they participate in it. They see the content that they put out, they comment on it, they interact with the information that we put out there, and we love that. One of the things that we see time and time again, we see a lot of questions in the InnovateHER KC community. And a lot of our members are business owners. A lot of our members lead initiatives. They lead boards. They're leaders. And that is what our focus is. But when we see these questions, the really beautiful thing about our community is that within minutes, you'll have a ton of responses to your questions. And so women are raising their hands, they're offering support, they are offering answers, they are pointing people to connections that can be helpful. And we're very proud of this community that we've built. But we see these questions, and some of the questions we see time and time again. We see them multiple times over the course of days, weeks, months. And so we wanted to, when we started talking about the Spring Clean Your Business event, we wanted to bring together women, and we wanted to try to answer some of these questions in a very real, actionable kind of way. How can we bring everybody together, answer these burning questions that our members have? And so we created the Spring Clean Your Business series. Mary Ricketts is the chair of the InnovateHER KC board of directors. She and I, this is our little brainchild, and we have been working together to come up with topics and questions that our members have asked countless times. And one of those subjects is sales. You know, how all of us want to close more sales, make more deals, make more money, level up as business leaders. We all want to do these amazing things, but some of us, we don't always know exactly how to do it. So today, we have assembled an amazing team of women who have figured it out. These women are sales leaders. They are consultants. They are the kind of people that could sell anything to anyone. They have achieved amazing things throughout the course of their careers, and they can speak knowledgeably about sales, about how to activate your sales pipeline, how to make more money, how to see more success in your business. And we are very honored to have them with us here today. So first things first, I'm going to let Mary just say a few words of welcome. She is going to be serving as a co-moderator / expert in her own right. But Mary always does a really fantastic job of welcoming our members and our attendees. And we know that we want to hear from you, Mary. You're one of my favorite people, and I want our audience to see why.
Oh, listen, check is in the mail. Check is in the mail. So let me say good morning. We're still morning. I am so excited about what we're going to present today. We have a dynamic panel. You guys are in for a treat. Let me just tell you now, if you didn't do it yet, go grab your pen, grab your favorite journal, because this is worth taking notes. This is going to be worth taking notes. So on behalf of our entire board and all of our InnovateHER KC members, I want to tell you, welcome. We are so glad for you to participate. You've got time right now. Grab a hold of this, share it on your Facebook page, put it on your LinkedIn page. This is going to be worth listening to. We are so glad you're here. Fill the house and get ready. Lauren, the mic is you.
Oh man, it's back to me already. Okay, well, here goes. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what you will be experiencing today. The first thing we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our illustrious panelists. But the first thing that you're going to see a keynote speech from Jy'Juan Maze. And so Jai is going to talk to us for about 20 minutes about her experience in sales. She's going to talk to us about a very interesting approach that she has to the sales process. So we're going to talk through that. Then we're going to hop into the panel. And if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. Mary and I are going to kind of tag team. We're just going to talk. We're going to have a really great discussion about sales. And that's going to go on for about 40 minutes or so. We will take a bio break because we recognize that sometimes people have to go to the bathroom, and that's okay. I have plenty of fluids, and I hope you do too. So we'll do that really quickly. And then we are going to hop into a couple of breakout sessions where we're going to talk about how can we apply what we have learned today in our own businesses. And we're going to give you the opportunity to talk amongst yourselves, to really think through. We're going to give you the time and the space to really think through and on those key takeaways that we have learned over the course of our time together. We think that that's really important. So we try to incorporate that into most of our events. How can we create opportunities for our members to connect? How can we create opportunities for our members to really just hold space, to internalize and synthesize and take the knowledge that they have gained and figure out how it works for them? Because here's the thing that we know about women. We're very busy, and we don't always have the time available to us to really think through things. And so we're going to give you that time. And we hope that you put it to good use. We hope that you make some really great connections. And then we're going to go ahead and close it out. That shall be the culmination of this event. We are very, very excited. And so I'm just going to go ahead and hop right into it. Now, it is my great, 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 great pleasure to introduce you to one of my favorite people. We have happy hours periodically, and they last way too long, because this woman is absolutely amazing to talk to. She is fun. She is brilliant. She is gorgeous. InnovateHER KC loves Jy'Juan Maze. And the thing about Jai is she is a thought leader in sales. She has built a company from the ground up in a very male-dominated industry. And she's going to tell us about how sales has been transformative in her life and how she has been able to take the knowledge that she has learned through trial and error. She's going to turn that. She's going to allow you to benefit from her wisdom. And so without further ado, I'm going to let Jai, tell you a little bit more about herself. But Jy'Juan Maze, thank you so much for being with us here today. You're amazing. Thank you. Oh, and you're on mute. And if anybody has Zoom bingo, make sure you get your cards ready.
Cool. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for this wonderful introduction, Miss Lauren Conaway. And it is good to see all you beautiful faces on this call. Thanks so much for listening to my story. She is right. I have built a freight company from my attic to $1 million company. We are 4 years old today, guys. Isn't it wonderful?
Congratulations. Happy birthday. I had no idea.
Thank you so much. 4 years old. I'm not doing anything until I get to the 5th year. So when I get to the 5th year, I'm going to go all out. COVID, hopefully people will be vaccinated or not, or just immune. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing with COVID. I don't know. So, but hopefully, everything will kind of go away and we can come back to some type of normalcy. I don't know. But either way it goes, I'm going to have a party. And even if you have to wear masks, beautiful ladies, bling mask, cute mask, leopard mask, black mask, come in and we're going to have a great time. Okay? So she is correct. I have built a freight logistics company from the ground up. I give you my background in sales. I never really sold anything. I've been doing this for over a decade, and I didn't used to really sell, but I did watch my father, who was blind, and he was a businessman. He was a pastor of a church, and he had every nationality you could think of eating out of the palm of his hand, and I just didn't know what it was. So I said, okay, well, there's got to be something to this. And when I was in the corporate world trying to find myself, I've gone to college, and it just because you're in college doesn't mean you find yourself, okay? You're just there trying to find yourself. So I've gone to college, I'm out, I'm in corporate America, I'm trying to find it, I'm filing, I'm getting a job in corporate woods, I just don't know what to do. My girlfriend tells me about a freight company. I said, okay. She says, they're really good, they love their people, I think you should get in there. So I tried my best to get in there, and they didn't have a position for me, just the entry level. And I told them, you know what, I'll take it because I'm pretty good at moving the way I want to move. So if you can get me in here entry level, I'll be fine. Well, the orientation came, and we all had to stand up and say who we were and da, 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 da. And from the time that I spoke my name and when I was finished introducing myself, I was offered a sales position instead of customer service. Why is that? Because the first thing, I've got 4 bullet points of what we're going to go over with sales. And the first thing is the first impression, okay? People are 10-second toms. And if you don't capture them in 10 seconds, they're going to drift. They're going to drift. So my first impression, I must have wowed them. I had sales managers coming down saying, I want her to be on my team. I want her to be on my team. Well, the manager that I worked for, he wouldn't let me go. He says, no, she's got to stay here in customer service. Okay, whatever. So I did, and I worked my way up. And I finally made my way to the sales team. Why sales? Because in sales, sales is uncapped, okay? It is a way that you can make a lot of money without anyone putting a cap on you. Okay, that's sales. Now, does it have to begin over and over again in a month? Yes, it does. That's the challenge of it. But I've got a friend who just cleared $154,000 in 1 month just from sales. Okay, this is freight logistics. This is how this goes. So when I had the opportunity to go to sales, I had to figure out how I was going to be different from everyone else. This is 700 reps on the sales floor. It's like a brokerage. It's like a stock brokerage. It's loud. It's a lot going on. I'm on the floor with a bunch of guys, okay? And it's just busy, busy, busy. And I've got to figure out, how am I going to fit into this? So I took my stab at it. Anyone who knows sales knows that it brings major anxiety for you to have to, even if it's face-to-face sales or if it's over the phone, if it's face-to-face, you got to prep yourself in the car. Okay, Jai, you're going to go in here. This is what you're going to say. You're going to say this. You're going to say, then you say, oh, I need key cards. No, I don't need key cards. I'm a spitballer from the top of my head. And then when you get in there, everything you thought you were going to say, you don't say it because you don't know what you're doing. I mean, you know what you're doing, but you're so anxious and you want to say the same thing. You don't want to flop it. That's sales. I know the anxiety. It bubbles in your stomach because no one wants to ask people for help or for anything because we're all independent, right? And we all can do it ourselves. But when you have a business, you're the salesperson. You have to sell your business. And when you sell your business, it has to be a premium business. It has to have value. People only buy and pay top-notch money if they think it has value in it. I have learned this. When we first began selling and you're a new kid on the block and your business is new, you take what you can get. Oh, okay, you'll be my client? Okay, thanks. Don't even worry about it. And if they have complaints, you say, well, I'll take 10% off. And they have percentage you all the way down to where your margin is so low when you started here, but because they know you're the new kid on the block and you want the sales so bad that you give your money away trying to make them happy. We all have done it when we started our business. We take what we can. But as you grow and grow and grow and build that confidence in yourself, and you know that you're offering a premium service, let me tell you something, people. People only pay for premium. They will pay big money for. Why do you think Louis Vuitton makes so much money? Now, I know that Louis Vuitton is coated canvas, but they have branded their bags of so much value that people will still take their stimulus check and go buy a $1,500 bag and not pay their bills. You guys know it's true. Come on now. We know it's true. And why is that? Because of the value that they have put on it. And if If someone thinks your product is out of their reach, they're going to do everything they can to get that product because it makes people feel good inside. So what we're going to talk about is the first thing in sales is the first impression. That's it. Because what people see, even if it's on the phone or if it's in front of someone, that's visual. That is visual. It's like going on a first date with the guy. Okay, ladies, let's talk about it. And you like this guy, so you're excited about this first date. So you're going to look so good. Your eyelashes are going to look good. You're going to do your makeup. You're going to YouTube how to contour your face. You're going to look good, right? You might go buy a new outfit. I'm not saying put your cha-chas out or anything like that, but you're going to look good because you want to impress him, right? First impression. So you're selling yourself to this guy that you're hoping is going to be your husband because he is your ideal knight in shining armor, and you can't let this guy go and no one else is going to get him. So I'm going to land him today. Am I right or wrong? That's how it goes. And then after that, we have the babies, we start eating donuts. No, I'm playing. But the point is, when you first meet someone and you go on that first date, you're going to look good. You're going to give it all you have. And your first impression is going to be wonderful. At least that's what you're thinking in your mind because you want to land him. This is the same thing with a new customer. First impression is everything. Now, when you first get that person on the phone, you guys, you have to be memorable. I don't care if it's cracking a joke, complimenting, bringing up something that you relate with that customer. You might go to their website, look at their website, see what you can relate on, because when you get on that phone call, when it's a phone call sale, you have to be memorable and you have to let them know that you are interested in who they are and what they do and you've done research on them. That makes you memorable. If you are in a crowd, because my mother used to sell life insurance and I loved how she would sell, she would have to go and she would sell life insurance to a crowd and she would pick something out and she would make the audience, engage the audience and say, who is that had that fabulous red bag in the back? And the lady who had the fabulous, it was me. And now she's got the audience engaged. So you engage yourself with your customer. You always want to be memorable. And if you can make them laugh, oh my goodness, if you can make them laugh. That's usually a shoo-in when you can make them laugh. Seriously. Now, surety and knowledge. You have to have the knowledge about your product. If you don't know about your product, well, what are they? Because they're looking for you to be the expert about your product, right? And your product needs to have value behind it. Because the customer, you want to make sure the customer is buying value. They're getting value for their money. So how I sell, I trump them. A lot of people don't like that name. They don't like the Donald Trump approach, but I do. Because Trump gets what he wants when he wants it. How does he do that? When he first built Trump Towers, he did not come off of Trump Towers saying, oh, we're just going to build a hotel and it's going to be nice. He said, this is getting ready to be the most fabulous hotel with the most elite guests in it. And anyone who is anyone is going to be at this hotel. So if you feel like you're a who's who, this is where you need to be. Or Trump Towers when he was building the apartments. And so what did that make everyone do? I got to be in Trump Towers. I got to be in Trump Towers. It doesn't matter how much it cost. I got to be a who's who. So he made it so Trump Towers had value for the money. And on his opening night, he delivered value. He delivered value. They had gold toilets, gold toothbrushes, chandeliers everywhere, and anyone who was anyone was there. And if you were not there, then they gave you a side eye, because if you were who's who, you would have been there. But what he did was he made it seem like his invention, his innovation was the best and no one else could top it. That's how you have to do with your business. Because if you don't believe in your business, who else is going to believe in it? Fogo de Chao. I've heard so many things about Fogo de Chao, Rita, that when I was dating, Fogo de Chao was around when I was dating. And that was the guys, I'll take you to Fogo de Chao. I'll take you to Fogo de Chao, girl. And then I would hear girls in the club saying, girl, he took me to Fogo de Chao. And the girls are like, he did? Why? Because Fogo de Chao has a brand of luxury. They're not saying, oh, he took me to McDonald's, girl. No. They're saying he took me to Fogo de Chao. And my experience was everywhere. It was so much meat. I was like, oh my God, stop the meat. Okay. That's just how it was. So Fogo de Chao, you have a luxury about you. You have to deliver. Every time someone comes to your restaurant, you deliver. You're impressionable. If you come out to meet the guests, you're going to be memorable. So that's what you have to do. So in sales, you have to have surety about your business. You have to be confident. And let me tell you something, the confidence is like it is on the first date. You have to look good. You have to be that woman that that man wants. Your goal in your head is, I'm going to be his everything. He is going to marry me and we're going to have babies. But your first impression is you're going to look that good that he wants to say, will you marry me tonight? That's sales. That's the first one. The follow-up. Here's the follow-up. After you end your first engagement with the customer, do not get off the phone until you have set a follow-up call. Okay? You have to set the follow-up call. You have to give your customers something to do. People have to be led. They do. Most people don't know what to buy until marketers tell them what to buy. Take avocados. Who wants to really buy avocados? But when they advertise avocados and they talk about the taste, I mean, if you don't put any salsa with an avocado, it's terrible. So they talk about the taste, they talk about the vitamins that's in it. And I mean, I see women feeding avocados to their children. And it's good for you. It's good for you because the TV, the doctor said it was good for you. But people don't know what they want to buy until marketers tell them what to buy. And in this case, you're the marketer for your company. Okay? Be consistent. When you all make that appointment, you make sure you can also send a follow-up and always be cool and charming when you're doing your follow-ups. Always charming is the one thing. I mean, I've seen used car salesmen sell a beat up ass Toyota for full price, all because he was charming. So you have to be charming, and charm comes along with being memorable. How do you charm? You compliment them on something. You know, if you got a guy on the line, you can stop the conversation. You know what? I know I'm talking to you, but can I tell you something? Your voice, you sound like a news announcer. No, they don't. Come on. But you want to engage them and you want them to be engaged with you. And now that you have gotten their attention because you complimented them and said they had a nice voice, and maybe they were insecure about their voice, but now you have made them feel so good about their voice, they're going to always want to talk to you because you feel like they sound like a radio announcer. Trust me, guys, this really, really works. Okay. It really works. So you want to be consistent, set up your next meeting, and then you want to put yourself in their shoes on your follow-up. What you want to talk about? You're talking about your value. You're talking about your product. And let me tell you something. Take 2 seconds to talk about your product, but take the rest of the time to listen to them. What are their pain points? What are they needing in their business? How does their business run? And how you can be an asset to them to make their business better. Again, your product has to have value. Has to have value. So after you've gotten them engaged, and you got a follow-up call, and you've had your follow-up call, and now you've put yourself in the customer's shoes, you can reverse it. Man, if I had a company like yours, I would definitely try this product. This is why. So now you're in their shoes. And so now, and you never want to get off the phone with making them believe that it will be, without making them believe it will be a mistake if they don't try your product. It will hurt their business if they don't at least give your product a try. You have to, it's a mental thing with sales. Most people only buy what they're told to buy, and if they feel like they need it, they will buy it. That's how they put all these baby dolls and toys, I heard. The toy companies make billions because they make the kid think they need it, and they don't need it. Okay. So you want to leave something on their mind, and then you want to set the next meeting. Your next meeting, if the follow-up wasn't to close, your next meeting has to close. Okay, because you've left something on their mind, they're going to think about it, you've made them laugh, you've given them a compliment, they're going to look forward to the next call. Always make sure your calls are energetic. No one likes a boring conversation, honestly. No one likes a robot. So make it personable, okay? Because you're building a relationship, guys. Third, follow up. Assume the close. Assume it. Assume it that we're going to sign these papers today. On that third follow-up, your email should have all of your paperwork sent to them. You shouldn't say, can I send you the paperwork? You should already have their email address. And on the third call and the follow-up, you're on the phone. Hey, check your email. I sent you the paperwork. Let's go over this together. You want to close it. You want to ask for the business. If you don't ask for the business, what is this sales call for? You have to close it and ask for the business. So you assume the close, send the paperwork, ask for the business, and then you let them know how much their business means to you. This is where you retain, close and retain. Anytime a client feels like they're helping you and they're making a difference in your business and your life, you're going to close it. This is how I did it when I first got on the sales floor, and I was the new kid on the block. And the first week I sold $2,000 and everyone was trying to figure out how. And I followed these steps. And in my closing, when I almost got a yes, I always closed with, if you do this, you don't know how much your business will change my life. You don't know how much your business will make my business flourish. It's customers like you who move America. Am I charming? Am I making them feel good? Am I making them feel like I need them because they're going to change my life? Yes. At that point, you're pulling on the heartstring. Then we go into retaining them. So after you close the customer and business is good, most companies, they're big ones, they push the customer to the side. But when you're a small business, you can't do that. You have to send constant reminders that you appreciate them and things are going well. And I thank you for your business. And here's our milestone. We wouldn't have gotten here without you. We wouldn't have gotten here without you. Do you know I was the only person on the sales floor who retained a customer for 8 years straight and no one could ever touch them? The guys tried to figure it out. They had sales managers coming down to me saying, what is your strategy? And my strategy is you make them feel appreciated, because if they know that their business is what's making you better and making, helping you, then they're not going to let it go. I've got to help Jai. No, I know you got this product, but no, I'm loyal to her. I've got to help her because I know what she's doing with it. Another good thing is that I've learned, and we opened a foundation where we're helping children. But oh my God, did that bring about a lot of business, charity. In your conversation of sales, it is always good to let the customer know that some of their proceeds will go to someone who is less fortunate. Now, make sure you follow through on that and send it. Your company should have some type of partnership. I recommend with every company to have a partnership with a charity, because more people are apt to do business with those who give, honestly. So these are my points. And here's the thing, always show appreciation. You always repeat, thank you so much, thank you so much, thank you so much. Your business means so much to me. Because like I said, when they feel like they are needed, they are going to come back. It's like a man in a bad relationship with a man and a woman, okay? He's a dick, we know that, but the woman won't leave because she feels like, oh, if I leave, he'll drink himself to death, he will. And it's a bad thing, but it's the same psychology with customers. They will stay loyal to you as long as you keep showing them appreciation and thanking them for what you do. And I'm going to close with this. I don't know if it's been 20 minutes yet. Has it been 20 minutes, Lauren? Okay, I'm going to close with this. Everyone has children, right? Do you all have children? Everyone have children? Children are the best salespeople on the planet, toddlers. I wrote a book about it called Finding Your Toddler Ambition. It's a different approach to entrepreneurship. Why? I'll give you an example. You're in the car, you have your cell phone. Mommy, can I play games on your phone? No, baby, no. Mommy, can I play games on your phone? No, no, no. Mommy, can I play games on your phone? No, baby, leave my phone. Mommy, can I play games on your phone? Hell, take the phone. Did they get what they wanted? So children they don't give up, do they? No. And that's how it is with sales. It takes 19 touches to close a big customer. That's what the stats have shown. 19 touches to close a big customer. That means that's consistent. That means you're constantly following up. You're constantly calling them. You're showing them that you want the business over and over and over again. And at that point, how I have closed most of my deals, I have gotten on their nerves so much that they say, here, I'll give you this one. You do good on this one, I'll give you another one. And baby, when they give you the opportunity, you better rock it. You better rock that opportunity and bring value to everything that you told them you was going to do. You better deliver above and beyond. Why? Because we're women. Women have to. We all know that women run the world. We all know that all the decisions in the White House, the good ones, I'll say, came from pillow talk. We know that women run the household. Men can't even think straight when they get home. They get married so they don't have to think. Who does the thinking? Women. We know when the bills are due. We know when the mortgage is due. We know what size he wears. We know his social security number. We know his temperature. We know all of his medications. We know all of the children's medications. We know the children's social security numbers. We know what time to cook, what time they need to go to bed, what needs to be cleaned. We run the household. We run the world. So the same way we manage that household and the household is happy, we manage these businesses. And that's sales. Number one, confidence. If you're not confident in yourself and in the business, you ain't selling shit. I'm serious. I just got to be honest with you. I know I said it, but you're not. Because you're the expert. They're coming to you for the answers. Confidence. 2, follow up. Constant. Get on their nerves. Follow up. 3, follow up and close. Send the paperwork. The paperwork is in there. We're just waiting for your signature. Ha, crack a joke. And then retain the customer. And that's it, ladies. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry I took so long. I could talk about this all day long.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, that was an injection of energy for sure. Jai, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And I remember we went out to a happy hour and you were talking to me about finding your toddler ambition, and you were talking about the mommy, take the damn phone situation. And it made me laugh. And I think that in sales, that's the approach. Like, people don't want to be sold to. People don't want to hear from you if they think you're trying to sell them. But if you are persistent, if you build that relationship, if you work on that confidence and you have the knowledge and you're able to show the value, then you become a game changer in someone's life. So thank you so much for sharing your perspective there. So next up, we're gonna dive into some tactics now. And I'm gonna rely on lovely Mary Ricketts. Mary, I'm going to go ahead and let you get kicked off. But first things first, to our attendees, as you can see, we have some amazing women here in the spotlight. We have with us today Audrey Navarro, managing partner for Clemons Real Estate, one of the fastest growing real estate companies in the city. I think by Ingram's Magazine, is that right? Yeah. 2018 Women Who Mean Business, just extraordinarily well connected. And as we all know, real estate is an extremely competitive field. And so we're very excited to hear Audrey's thoughts. We also have with us today Rita Strickland, event sales director, Fogo de Chao. And as Jai mentioned in her I always forget which side to point. Darn mirror. Um, but, as Jai mentioned, Fogo has a reputation. It has such a strong brand. And so being able to leverage that brand to close sales, it's a gift. And so Rita's going to come and she's going to tell us about her perspective and how she follows up with customers. Kate Cash, absolutely amazing sales consultant. Her business is helping companies maximize their sales opportunities and dig deep into their pipelines and figure out how to best direct their people and their time and their resources to make money, which is really what it's all about, right? So we have an amazing panel of women here with us today, and we are so grateful that you're here. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mary for a moment. We'll do some introductions, and then we're going to hop into it, and we're going to give you some real actionable advice, things that you can apply in your business tomorrow, today. Apply it today. That's right. Apply it in your business today. But Mary, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Oh my goodness, that was so fabulous. Jai, listen, when you've been in sales for long time. I'm just gonna say long time. We'll just say over 30. And I still found it necessary to take notes. You're bringing it, girl. You are bringing it. So that's going to be my first thing. If you didn't do it, grab your paper, grab your pen, because we're going to give you nuggets that you can use now, because we are all about making sure that we can elevate every woman that hears this message. So if you didn't share it, grab this, share this, put it on your Facebook page. We're going to make sure we keep that resource available to us for later on as well. But here's what's key. Here's what I think is ironic. For as long as I have been in corporate America and now entrepreneur, own my own companies, I own two. One of the biggest challenges I have seen, and Kate's on the consulting side, so I know she's going to give some input on this one as well, is what I call those accidental salespeople. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Hey, I was the HR so-and-so at Sprint or AT&T or wherever, and now I'm going to run my own consulting firm. One of the biggest challenges we've seen is sales. I know how to be an HR consultant. I know how to be, this, because that's what I did. I could be a mechanic, but now I'm going to run my own mechanic shop. But sales is what will either kill your business, or boom it. So here's the first question I'm going to put to the house, and I'm going to tell you guys what order I'm going to go in, because I'm going to do it intentionally. I'm going to bring in Audrey first, because Audrey is a realtor, and we already know that that's like one of the cutthroat industries. It's super, super competitive. Let's be honest. There's a realtor on every flipping corner. So I want Audrey to share this first thing. How do you keep you motivated and or your team to stay motivated and producing and being sales focused? And then Rita, I'm going to bring you in right after that. And then Kate, I'm going to have you kind of wrap all of that up together for me. So Audrey, let me start with you.
Yeah, that's
Think
a great
about that question and bring it to us.
Yeah, I mean, I think that staying motivated is really hard in this environment that is completely different than where we were at even a year and a half ago. I think that by nature, salespeople are social creatures. And so that's made it a lot harder for the sales industry as a whole. I can tell you that the things that we focused on, particularly during COVID and coming out of COVID, have been sharpening the saw and really focusing on your strategy. I think things like recreating and redefining how you're going to prospect, who you're going to prospect to, who's your target audience, knowing your target audience. I really loved what Jai shared in that category. Knowing who your customer is and doing research ahead of time to really understand their needs. And then knowing isn't doing. So you got to stick to the plan. You have to not only have a plan, but you have to stick to the plan. And so we've spent a lot of time with our team. We have a team of 15 commercial agents. in this environment, we've spent a lot of time measuring the activity that makes up your plan. And so that's the best way to fill your pipeline. And so often salespeople get focused. They get really focused on working on their accounts as opposed to filling the pipeline. And the first thing that falls off of the radar screen is filling the pipeline with new customers, because they're just so excited to close the deals that are in the pipeline. And so we just really spend a lot of time measuring the prospecting activity, the follow-through activity, the checking in with prospects that maybe you have had several conversations with that might need to sell their building next year, but they need to build a relationship with you. So relationship building is just front and center and focusing on executing your strategy.
I'm almost speechless because Audrey, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about all the things that you hit on. So Rita, and I have to throw in a caveat, I've known Rita for years. And anybody who can serve PTA for years, you're just a powerhouse in my book. But here's the cool thing. Rita has a sales background. And what I think is ironic, and as much as you want to share, even when we your sales skills transition. If I can sell, watch this, in this company, I can sell in that company. My product line and service may change, but either I'm bad at what I do or I'm not. So Rita, I'm gonna let you kind of pick up right where Audrey left off and share what you like to share, especially when it comes to keeping yourself motivated, keeping that funnel flow with that for us.
Absolutely. So the funny thing that you say about sales is that I actually just realized last year that, man, God has really blessed me with the gift of gab. Like, I'm going to truly embrace my gift of gab. And I've noticed, like, these past 2 months, I've talked so much that my voice is almost literally gone. And my husband goes, well, God has blessed me for that silence at night. And I'm like, wow, you're such a hater. Because I don't go home in bed anymore because I'm so exhausted talking. So I actually started off having a full ride as an engineering major, and I decided to leave. I was a middle dramatic child. I'm like, I am going to change the stereotype of Asians. I'm going to go be a salesperson. So I actually went into the telecommunication daycare world. There's two different worlds, and kind of started from the bottom up and became a sales manager and managed, a call center of over 200 people. If you guys have never been a call center world, that is a reality show in itself, okay? And then I realized I really loved event planning, so I started my business with my, at that time, 8-year-old and 4-year-old daughters, and it's still now currently active, so I do actually have a business on the side, and really, really embrace the corporate world. So my thing, it's not necessarily to motivate, it's to inspire that motivation, right? So having a sales team was such a challenge, but it was really getting to know what motivates them. And so you have to inspire them to continue to be motivated. So knowing what they like, knowing what they enjoy, knowing what makes them feel good. A lot of people bring it back to what consider like a love language. I go back to like, what can I gift them if they succeed? Some people like outings at the Royals game. Some like makeup. That's easy for me because I'll just go pull all my makeup stock that I have to gift. Some like jewelry, some like Pampered Chef. So it's those small things that's important. Some just want some PTO time off to take time with their children and do arts and crafts. So the motivation, honestly, is you have to continue to find motivation yourself. So you find that person that inspires your motivation. And mine is my husband and my faith in Christ. So that motivates me every day. And then I find whatever inspires me to inspire everyone else. Because you could be a salesperson all day, but if it's not executed right, if your product sucks, that is like a terrible situation, right? So you have to make sure that you do that follow through with that execution, that product as well. Because I could like you mentioned all day, like if you are selling, your product's not doing well, like for me, I can sell an event all day long. But if that lamb chop was not cooked the way it was, if they didn't get that 16 meat cuts around, or the vegans or vegetarians didn't get all their meals on the market table, they're not going to come back. So it's important that there's a 360. So essentially, to answer your question, you can't motivate someone, but you can inspire someone that is motivated. So that is like just a really key thing, because you are able to kind of meet them where they are, but you can also inspire them to grow bigger if they wanted to. But there's also people that that gets like, how in the world did they get this position? Like, what, like, you don't know what you're doing, and then I'm training you and you're my leadership. And I don't know how many of you ladies have done that. You're training the trainer, and it's a most discouraging feeling, but you're like, okay, I'm gonna do it, because even though you make more money than I do, I'm just gonna do it because it's in that power to do. So essentially, Mary, it's really what you have to bring the inspiration to your team. And then you have to get that buy-in from them, so they'll know that you're there for them. At the end of the day, it's honestly what Jai said, it's that relationship building, rapport building. And I'm so about transparency, integrity, and loyalty. That's all you have right there. And then you could teach them anything else. That skill set, you could teach them anything else. It's that soft skill rapport that's so important that you have to have. Because if not, then there's no purpose. There's no purpose of anything else, because people, I want them to come to be inspired by working, not, oh, I just gotta get a paycheck. I just gotta get a paycheck. Because everyone knows when you pull up to that job, if you get to the point you're like, oh my gosh, I do not want to be here, that's when you've got to either re-inspire them, or it's time for them to make decisions and to go. Because it's no point of changing someone's mindset if they're already kind of gone. So that's my long story short type of tip, or short story long.
No, that is perfect. Thank you. Okay, Kate, come on, my power consultant here. Give me some tie-in for those two. And I'm gonna give you guys some play on this, because the next thing I'm gonna ask you is about prospecting and filling your pipeline, how you do it. Kate, give me some wrap up to what the ladies have said. What would you like to share?
So I think the most important thing as far as motivation goes, is you got to be clear with yourself about your personal why. So why are you showing up? And then what do you have to offer in this relationship? So one of the things with leveling up and like staying motivated, and it's COVID and nobody really knows, we don't know anything for the next year. So I said, oh, I'm going to fail forward, right? And then I go, well, that's not really right. It's more like I give myself permission every day to take a risk on my own behalf and really show up for myself. And then all of a sudden you're redefining consistency and how to show up in the relationship, how to manage your pipeline, because you're actually looking at, what do I have to offer? Why am I doing this? And who am I going to reach out to today? And how am I going to take this risk, which might feel uncomfortable or might look ugly, right? We all want to be beautiful, but sometimes at that first date, you spill food on your shirt. Make them laugh about it. Say, that's why you never wear white. And then you move on. And every time you feel bad about yourself, or like make a weird meaning, right? Of like, I am terrible at this. I'm never going to get a customer. It's COVID, right? Like, there's no reason why we can't all succeed during COVID, because businesses fail all the time. 70% of businesses are failing around us. So then if you redefine failure to being, I did not take a risk on my own behalf today, then all of a sudden it changes. And if you feel bad about yourself, go out and contact somebody else. I once, about 3 weeks ago, I think I pitched to like 12 different people, because I was like, I can do better. And I rewrote what I was going to say, and I babbled on a phone message, and I was like, I can do better. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wow, like I reached so many more people today. So just get out there and like show up.
I love that, Kate. I love that. And I love what Kate brought it in. And we're going to do prospecting. I want to talk about that. And I'm going to give you guys a hint right after prospecting. I want to talk about overcoming sales objections. Yeah, we got to hit that one. So talk to me about what you do to design your prospecting list, because every industry is going to be a little bit different. Oh, look, I'm going to show you one of mine. Oh, I got a green screen up, so I don't know if you, so yeah, remember this, you guys, the book of lists from the Kansas City Business Journal. Y'all, that's been around forever. It's been around forever. But talk to me about your prospecting, how you're doing it. You know, if you've got some gems of, like, you know, in every industry being a little different on where you're pulling your leads. And I'll share just a little bit of mine. First of all, anybody that says they love it is usually not telling the truth. Okay. I'm all about, let's not lie. I was the queen of prospecting in telecommunications. Hated it. Would probably say a few bad words at moments of it. But because I knew it was a numbers game. I knew it was a numbers game. Come on, Jai. I tracked the crap out of that. But then I learned some secrets later. So I want to hear from you guys. Talk to me about, you know, your strategy for prospecting and starting to build that funnel. I want to go around. Jai will bring you in on that one too. And then from there, after we all go through that, I want to hit about overcoming your sales objections. Rita, I'm gonna pull you in first, and then Audrey. I'm gonna flip it for you guys this time. Rita, come in and share with us your prospecting strategies.
So the biggest thing is having a game plan. For me is, or I think for all of us, we have to have a game plan. We plan a year ahead of time, knowing your quarterly. I'm in the events world, so I need to know in my mind where my target market, when are they thinking to book? So if it's a school, they're going to book in December for their prom in April. If it's a corporation for like a yearly employee outing, picnic outing, they're going to book in January, in March. So it's really knowing when your prospect is going to need X, Y, and Z. I was in telecommunications, so I had to sell Sprint fleet tracking all the time. That was the consistent thing, is knowing that needs aspect. Really, you got to kind of play what you already have. LinkedIn is such a perfect avenue. And I used to think it was old white people. Like, old white people, they're not going to care about this Asian chick on LinkedIn. I'm 21 years old. What are they going to do? But it actually has brought so much dollars to me when I finally engaged into LinkedIn. It's crazy. And also your chamber of commerce. You need to get in a chamber of commerce, and don't get into 10 like I did, because I was lost. But your chamber of commerce, and find your people and use all those prospects. And those book of lists is amazing. You actually can buy, let's say if you want looking to hit a financial group, you can buy the book of lists in Excel spreadsheet for $35, and they'll send it all to you. So there's a list for you, so you do your email blast, and then you can just call them. So those are the things that I would say, because I want to keep it brief, is using your circle. If you don't have funds, you're starting, is that book of lists, $35, your current LinkedIn as well. And then just make sure that you have a game plan. Like, who is your target market that you want to get as well. So
I love that. Rita hit on making sure you understand your industry, so you understand your prospects' timing as well. That is awesome. Audrey, give me a couple minutes and share with me from your side on the commercial real estate. How are you prospecting?
Unmute. We have a variety of different types of prospects. So our clients are landlords and tenants, they're investors, and they're also buyers and sellers. So the occupants themselves sometimes are those prospects. And I love what Rita said. You need to have a game plan. Who are you focused on? We start at a very high level, and we identify our top 25 prospects for the year. What clients or what properties would you like to work on this year if it was an open book? And build relationships. It might take 2 or 3 years to build relationships with those property owners. So we get really specific. And then the other thing that I have found really helpful over the years is understanding where you can purchase or subscribe to industry trade associations, where you can have access, easy at the tip of your fingers, access to contact information. So in the old days, we used to spend hours and hours researching property owners. There are all kinds of wonderful databases that you can subscribe to for pretty reasonable prices these days, $100 a month or less, to get unlimited data that's really easy to sort and filter. And the couple of sources that we have found very helpful that I think would be really helpful to almost any industry, Data Axle is one that we subscribe to, and it's, again, a moderately priced option. It allows you to search by industry, by title, by geography, by size of company in terms of employees, by size of square footage. And you can get not only to the owners or decision makers in your field, but you can also get their email addresses and their phone numbers to their direct line. So having a strategy to get in front of those folks, and then making really intentional effort to diversify your prospecting approach. So phone calls is one piece of that, but phone calls can't be the only piece of that. Networking is one piece of that, but networking can't be the only piece of it. Email and marketing campaigns electronically have to be a piece of it. And then social media. I'm with you, Rita. LinkedIn is a treasure that very few people take the time to really figure out how to excel. And you can reach all kinds of prospective clients, and you can build your brand as an expert in your field through that social media tool. When we started Clemons Real Estate as a full service company about 5 or 6 years ago, we really were shocked at how many people recognized our brand because of our social media presence in an industry where the most recognition typically is given through signs, right? They said, oh, Clemons is everywhere. Well, I only have 2 signs out there across the city. How do people think that? It's because of social media. And I think it's a tool that everybody needs to learn how to leverage.
All right, that's powerful, ladies. Powerful, powerful. Jai, I want to bring you in to answer that as well. Give me a couple quickies on that one on, how are you prospecting? And then Kate, I'm gonna bring you in to start talking to us a little bit about overcoming sales objections. Jai, you're muted, love.
I was just saying, Audrey, look. So it happened to me. So when we're prospecting, of course, when we first started and the sales reps come in, the first thing I tell them is go after low-hanging fruit, okay? Because you need to build your pipeline with some things to get you going. So you go after that low-hanging fruit. Once you've got a nice little base, we manage that, and I train the team to go from the top down. Reason why is because if you have a shipping manager and you're saying, hey, can I control your freight? He's just a shipping manager. He's not making decisions. You go to the head of the head, to the head of the head, the one who's going to tell them, you do this. Now that came from the boss. So the way I've got a lot of prospects through LinkedIn. I would go to the head of Ford. I went to the head of BMW. I went to the head of companies, even though the little thing is locked. I paid for the premium just so I could send inboxes to them, asking them for the business. I went in, I pulled on the heartstring. Hi, my name is Jai. I'm sorry to contact you this way, but I was wondering who would I speak to and how could I get on your list to be able to woman on, da, 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 da. I sent that, and next thing you know, the CEOs was telling the shipping manager, set them up. So that's how we teach these guys now, is to go to the head and work your way down. As far as social media, everybody is doing this, right? Everyone, I don't care who it is, the president. So you have to be in front of them every swipe, whether it's on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, your logo should be everywhere, because at that point you're sealing it in their brains, Clemons, right? So that's how we think. When people think of freight, they think of Maze Freight. That's what we want people to think of. Everyone's on social media. That means you've got to be on social media to capture them. That's how we prospect. We also use the library for prospecting, free prospecting. The library has a reference of every company in America, their titles and their email addresses and phone numbers for free. USA reference.
Reference USA. And I put that in. That's it. Thank you. I put that in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
And but they just changed their name. So if you go to your library, that is online, you guys, it is free. You go to your online, you look up online resources, and it just changed this name not too long ago because I was walking another salesperson through it. But Jai, you are absolutely, absolutely right. Okay, we got a quick question in the chat, which actually does absolutely make sense. Kate, I want you to take that question. Talk to us a little bit about some examples of what low-hanging fruit is.
So low-hanging fruit would be when you're speaking about your prospects, what you want to do is categorize them. I do hot. So low-hanging fruit would be my hot, right? So I have hot, I have warm, I have lukewarm, I have ice cold. I still contact those ice cold people at least one time per year. I don't care if they're going to ignore it or hang up on me. So when you first reach this person, is now a good time to talk? Yes, now is a great time to talk. All right, this is what I have going on. I'm an expert in this. This is my field. This is what I do. This is amazing. This is exactly what I need.
That's it. I love that.
Close it on the first date. Get married. Put a ring on it. You're done.
Y'all know that song's gonna be in your head the rest of the day. Beyonce, you might as well just put a ring on it. Put a ring on it, honey. So we go. And here's the other thing, because Danielle asked that question, is sometimes the industry depending, sometimes your low-hanging fruit are previous clients. Even if I change industries, when I left, and kind of like Jai, when I left from AT&T to Sprint and Sprint to Paytech and Paytech to Windstream and all that good stuff, hey, I know your contract is up in what, about 6 months? Yes, we need to start dating all over again right now. Come, that's it. Come on. But that's it. And sometimes it's a contact that you have. So if I'm like, hey, I want to go after some people in the freight industry, Jai's my first low-hanging fruit because she already has all the connections. That's how you think about that low-hanging fruit. Kate, I'm coming back to you. Let's talk about the most uncomfortable thing in sales, you guys. Let's talk about overcoming sales objections. And then I'm going to tell y'all my cheat sheet. Kate, let's talk to us about that. How do we do it?
How do we do it? So what you do is you become an expert on whatever it is, and then you listen. And when I say listen, I don't mean like with your ears. I mean with your heart. Like when you first get on the phone with someone, when you listen to them, is this a good time to speak? I have spoken to people on the day that after their son has died, or the day before their daughter is getting married, or a week before a marathon, right? So what you do is you really listen to what they need. And then you connect with them at a level of sameness. So I don't mean like, I have to be the same as you, right? Like this, right? Like, I mean this one little tiny point of intersection on where we can meet. And that's where you started. And it's okay if you don't close it right away. And I am actually, I don't know if anyone would agree with this, but I feel like the hard no is a gift to me, because I can move on to the lukewarm or the warm, as opposed to trying to chase the same person for months and months and months, right? I put them on my once a year contact.
I love that. And sometimes I know even for me, KC Nice is hard to get the no out. You are so right, Jessica Powell. Yeah, we have this Midwest nice. We got this Midwest nice thing going on that we don't want to hurt Audrey's feelings. So we just dangle Audrey along. And it's like, no. So one of the best things that I learned years on, that you talk about, and I love for you to talk about what they're going to do with this Asian woman. Listen, you talking about cute, curvy, woman of color in IT world. Okay. Yeah. Every CIO I met except one in my life was an older white gentleman. It is like, oh, Mary's so cute. Yeah, but I know my stuff. Let me show you. So that's probably the first thing, overcoming here's this fabulous woman in the field and we know our stuff. We actually do, you guys. We're rock stars. But one of the things I really had to do was figure out my verbiage. And there's some things that you can say regardless of what their comeback is. So when you think about overcoming sales objections, it may not be, you're going to have one for price. You're going to have one from, for it's bad timing, that you want to always be able to pull that out of your back pocket and, have a comeback for it. So Audrey, I want to hear how you and your team are handling sales objections. And then Rita, I'm going to bring you in.
That's a great question, Mary. I think we do a lot of group problem solving. I think that it's really important to practice scenarios that may happen over and over again. And I think that we all have a natural tendency to want to compromise and meet in the middle, but you really have to take a break and think about, wait a minute, am I going too far? Am I giving away too much? I think that the easiest thing that we tell our team, and I even do this myself, by the way, I never tell people I'm the building owner. I say, oh, well, let me go check with my boss. And so, just having a pause to give a moment to think about your response, it really does a lot. And, we're always so excited in the sale to close the sale. And so sometimes we accidentally give away the farm. And it's just really important to be thoughtful in that. And then to practice those responses, right? So if somebody's trying to negotiate my fee, I now have a pretty easy, quick response. Hey, thanks so much, but we don't discount our fees when we represent buyers. It's just not something we do, and we might not be the right fit for you. And sometimes when you tell them you might not be the right fit for us, they want to be the right fit. And so, there's something about the negotiating from the perspective of abundance as opposed to scarcity. And I just think that that's so important to think about. Being able to go back and say, hey, I've talked to my broker, I've talked to my boss, I've talked to the property owner, and here's what we can do. And the other piece of advice someone gave me one time, which I use all the time now, is if you ever do give something up, you always want to A, document it, but B, you want to get something in exchange. And so, I can only do that if you sign a 1-year contract with me, I can do that. Instead of just giving it up without asking for anything, even if it's something small. Asking for something in exchange for that concession is really important.
That is amazing. And yes, if you're not in the chat, you can't see the questions coming in the chat and the responses, please hop in the chat. We are getting ready to make a shift. So Lauren, you all just don't know. We got all kinds of messages and everything going on. I'm trying to keep everybody straight right now. But watch it. So we are going to open up Q&A. So let me do this. Let me do this. If you have a quick question, oh yeah, thank you, Audrey, that you want to ask, I want you to feel free to come on in and ask your question. We want to make sure that we get some responses from our phenomenal panel here. So Jessica, Dawn, Danielle, Heather, Christy, please raise your hand if you have a quick question that you would like the panel to answer for you.
And remember, this is a panel of badasses. Like, this is a kind of once in a lifetime opportunity to pick the brains of people who not only have done this successfully for years, but these are the people who can tell you how to do it. And they've been doing this entire time. So grateful for them. If you feel more comfortable, feel free to pop your questions over into the chat. Feel free to unmute yourself, chime in. One of the great things about InnovateHER events is that we try to keep them a little more fun, a little bit more loosey-goosey, less formal. You see my little loosey-goosey dance. So feel free to just hop in and let's have a conversation. This is a really important topic to so many of us. So hop on in.
Dawn's at the gym.
Oh,
Dawn's like,
Jessica's
"I'm
got
at
her
the
hand
gym."
raised.
This is a personal question. So I've been in a lot of organizations where I'm kind of forced into sales because I'm good at it. And that doesn't mean that I like it. I'm really a social seller. I don't like the hunt, so to speak. I like if I see a square hole and I put it into a round hole, just like logical sales is what I like to do where it makes sense. And I always get so much pressure, normally from, the CFO or the COO or whoever go sell more, stop producing, stop marketing, stop doing this and go sell more. And I don't want to because I don't really love traditional sales in terms of building a pipeline, hunting, reaching out every 2 days or whatever the cadence that they say I have to have, even though I don't want that effing cadence because that's not how I buy things. And so I'm really just wondering, do you force this cadence upon your salespeople? Do I just need to put my head down and just do what I'm good at? Any thoughts?
Come
Looks
on,
like Josh
Josh.
got a thought.
I got two, but Josh first.
I have a sales rep who he's young, he's 29. Okay. And he's our best closer. And we've gone through all of the steps with him. And so one day I asked, I said, and he's on the phone. Okay. I said, how do you close so much? He says, because I'm sexy on the phone. I said, what do you mean you're sexy on the phone? He says, I sound sexy on the phone. And another rep came and said, but what if it's a dude? He said, I sound sexy to him too. Everybody loves sexy. He says, so I'm on the phone, I'm selling sexy and I'm selling Maze Freight, and he always closes the deal. He does it his way. Do we come and say, no, you don't do it that way? No, that's working for him. Now, we're not telling you go prostitute yourself. No, not at all. But if what you're doing is working and it's producing and the company still has integrity, this is 2021 going into 2022. This isn't 1905 anymore. Whatever, we used to have billboards. Now we have social media. So things have changed. And if there is a way that you are closing, maybe they need to adapt to that same innovation on what you're doing. Maybe they need to adapt to that so they can close more. We don't even mess with him. When other reps have a difficult customer, they call him, excuse me, I need to put my manager on the phone. And he gets on the phone. Hey, what, how can we help you? He's so sexy. And it closes. So whatever, I've used my looks. I'm not gonna lie, ladies, I've used it.
Yes.
So whatever works, Jessica, we do not whip. Okay, they do not have to sell, under duress. We tell them, you pick it because these are your customers, you gotta maintain it. And if sexy is getting it, baby, give them sexy. You gotta give them sexy.
I just have a longer close time because it's so social and it's so relational that they want to see me in there, doing it in the way that other people do it. But I'm like, I wouldn't be able to close it if you don't let me do it my way. Wait a little while, I'll get you a close, but you just have to let me do it on my own way.
You know what, Jessica, I think you bring up a good point because if I think about all of us on here that are salespeople and come from that background, some of us can be the one called closers, depending on, style and personality and all that. For some of us, it's like, no, I'm like a 4, it takes me 4 dates to close you. Me, I don't want to do none of that. I'm calling Rita. Hey, Rita, what connection do you have over here? Good, because I've been trying to get into that account. So yeah, call him for me, her, them. And I'm coming in through the side door. Come on, Rita.
Yeah, I think for you, Jessica, I think what it essentially is that they're trying to transition you to sell differently how they normally do it. And that's kind of corporate America. They have to have a baseline or foundation to ensure that it's all easy to retain for everyone to read. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm struggling with that at this point. We have like a base camp thing that it's a task thing that you have to go check in and make sure you're doing what you planned on doing. Things change every day right now with the pandemic. So there was a time where it just popped up to me to manage a whole wedding show this past Sunday of 400 or 500 vendors. So I think it's just changing your like mindset and your behaviors of, okay, well, is this something that I have to do in order to succeed, and negotiate with your leadership? Because the last thing I want to happen to you is like you are going to stand still and then they micromanage you, right? And then they'll become, oh, Jessica's a hard person to deal with. And it becomes, it starts becoming, even though they don't say it's personal, it becomes a tit for tat personal thing because she's not doing what we're telling her to do. So she's becoming complicated. I get that all the time. I'm like, no, I'm not being complicated. I'm just telling you, it doesn't work for me. It may work for Sally, Sue, and Jerry, but Rita, Amanda, Bonecom, Strickland, it just doesn't work. And so you're able to build a relationship because you mentioned social selling. So that means that you're building a relationship that they would be like, oh, well, I want to buy from Jessica. Now I may not buy like within 15 days, but I'll buy it 30 days or 45 days. And then Jessica's working on people that you worked on 45 days ago. And so I think it's important that you come back with a presentation and be like, hey, I beat prior year numbers in X, Y, and Z. And guess what my 12-month rolling period is going to look like? Because these are the things that I'm doing to be able to increase revenue this way. And I understand you guys have a process and procedure. If it's something that I have to do to ensure that you guys feel good, then I'll do it and change my behaviors. But sometimes you just got to look at the perspective. There's like, well, because what they want to do is like, okay, Jessica's selling. So how can we put that on paper so we can tell someone else to sell? So I was able to change my behavior and think like, oh, well, they're freaking bothering me. They're just really discouraging me. But if I look at it as a negotiation aspect, like, okay, they want to be able to see what I'm doing that works. They want it on paper so it's trackable and traceable. And then they can share those key items that you do, Jessica, so well for the company, and they want to share it to others. So maybe, like I said, I'm saying devil's advocate. Maybe that's what that mindset is. And don't think that they're coming for you or not, because sometimes they do come for you.
Yeah,
I have a lot of people that come for me too. But
that devil's advocate there, because
yes,
you know, the proving it with data and showing them how, you know, I do it differently and how I can be, anyone is replaceable, but it's even easier to be replaceable if you show them how I do it. And I just don't want to be, you know, moved into marketing only because they think that I don't like sales. That's what I hear all the time. Oh, we know you don't like sales. We know you don't like sales. And I do like sales, but I like my kind of sales, you know, not yours. So thank you guys for your feedback. I've really enjoyed this panel. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Jessica. Lauren, do we have time for another quick?
Let's do kind of a quick lightning round. We had a little break scheduled in here, and we can kind of play it a little fast and loose. So why don't we do one more question and then just kind of do a lightning round with the panelists? How's that sound?
Beautiful. I love it. Here would be my question. You guys ready for this one? Give me your favorite sales book or sales training. Think about that. Your favorite sales book or sales training.
I'm going to answer first because it's this one. Ha!
I love you, girl. So I'm going to tell you mine, and then I'll just go right around in picture, which means I got Kate, Audrey, Jai, Lauren, and then Rita. So my favorite sales book guy is Jeffrey Gitomer. Gitomer. When I started reading Jeffrey Gitomer stuff, I was like, where the heck was he 30 years ago? You know, when I first started, he has like a whole series out. You know, there's a red book, blue book, red, yellow, all of that. Jeffrey Gitomer is one of my favorite. Kate, tell me who yours is. Audrey and then Jai.
I love LinkedIn. I love Mark with I1 Organics. He's like this dude that's like breaking the mold as far as like, you don't have to work 20 hours a week, and you can work out in the morning, and you can show up for your 7 hours, but really show up fully and then be with your kids. And I'm like, yes, why are we not why are we not internalizing this as women and like showing up in that way in business? Like, why do I have to be frazzled and exhausted and work myself to the bone? Why can't I just go in, be calculated, do a badass job, and then go, you know, manage the rest of my entire household bills and life? And then I think every woman should read The Art of War and really learn how to show up for yourself in conflict and create really clear boundaries for yourself in sales.
I love
Because
that.
like one of the things that's really important is like you take what you love, and this is us, right? We're all creating something that we love, and then you put this armor around yourself here so that they can't get through that.
I love that. And I'm gonna ask each panelist as we give ours, put it in the chat so that everybody can see it as well. Audrey, I've got you next. Favorite sales book, sales training, share your tool.
Yes, we do a lot of sales training with Rod Santomassimo's firm, which specializes in commercial real estate, but he's got a great book that's about every kind of sales, and it's called Knowing Isn't Doing. And I love it. You know, so often we have salespeople who have all kinds of training or all kinds of academic background, and they just don't know how to, or they don't apply it. And so it's not just about knowing your space, it's about acting on your plan.
I love it. Jai, and then Rita.
So I have a favorite sales guy. His name is Dan Lok, L-O-K, D-A-N. He's an Asian guy. Oh my God. This dude's incredible. Okay. He is incredible. I'll put him in the chat. And if you don't, he's on YouTube and he tells you, first, he helps you build your esteem. Same thing I said, you learn value in your business. And the third one that I love is it's kind of like a Jay-Z approach. You know, we know that we are at the stage of this little bitty box, but the rest of the world don't know it. So you make it seem like you're the biggest badass CEO out there. And one trick that he has taught me is don't be too available too soon. Okay. So when people are trying to get in touch with you or they want something, it's okay to make them wait 30 minutes. That kind of shows your value as you're busy, you've got things going on, you have other clients. And so Dan Lok, I mean, the guy is incredible. He really, really, D-A-N-L-O-K. He's funny. He teaches people how to dress for the occasion, how to speak. And once you start doing these things, your confidence will build and build and build in yourself. And there's a young lady who asked something about the sales team. I'll let you guys get to that. I have answers for that too, but that's just pretty much it. You know, self-confidence. And Dan Lok, I mean, the guy's incredible. He's going to crack you up if you ever get a chance to just listen to him. But he's going to teach you sales, and he's going to teach you that you are value.
I love that. Rita, share your favorite tool.
Besides the Bible. So it's actually how to eat an elephant one at a time. It's an idiom, of course, taking things one step at a time. It's not necessarily a sales book. I think it's important as a salesperson, you have that gift naturally. So it's really how you can grow yourself fundamentally. And then the other, I have to say too, is the Wisdom of Oz. The Wisdom of Oz is a book about accountability as well, and improving your relationship. And I think it's really important that, you know, as amazing salespeople we are, that we truly continue to really build ourselves in that personal level, that you'll be able to grow in fundamentals of the business as well. So yeah, I think we should definitely get to that Heather question. I think it's really important with the world that we are in now, that a lot of salespeople have lost their jobs, to be able to kind of find the group that she may need.
Well, so I'm gonna break in here really quickly, and the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this recording off. So thank you so much to those of you who have been watching. We're about to open it up to just an open discussion. You know, one of the things that we love to do at Innovator events is give folks the time and space and mental grace to actually think through what they've learned, because we know that once you leave us and once you are away from this planned time, life takes over. So we're about to do that really quickly. Just want to remind folks, if you're not already familiar with InnovateHER KC, and I'm sure that most of you are, it looks like, but if you're not, definitely head to innovateherkc.com to learn more about us and what we do. We do have monthly happy hours and coffees if you want to reconnect on a more casual, fun, informal basis. I can tell you that our last happy hour was supposed to be an hour and a half, and it went to 2.5 hours because we were having so much fun, and we would love to have you join us. You can find those events, all of our events, on our public Facebook page. You can also join our private virtual community. We have over 4,200 members currently, highly engaged, badass women doing kick-ass things. And we are all here to support and uplift each other. So thank you so much for joining us. And now we're about to have that conversation that y'all at home don't get to see. Bye.